How's it going, everybody? Welcome into my first ever build video for Borderlands 4. We are playing Amon, and we got a really crazy build here that works even in UVH5. It takes a hold of the Jacobs shotguns. You can honestly run whichever one that you want. I got 3 of them here. I can't really tell which one I like better between the knife launcher and the spread launcher. They're both really good. I think the spread launcher does a little bit better than the knife launcher, but it's just because this one over here has a magazine size of 1. So every single time that I shoot, I get a reload, and that feels really good compared to this one over here that has 6 into the magazine. I believe that if you have less bullets in a magazine, that the spread launcher will do even more damage per shot. So if you can find a spread launcher that does 1 in the magazine, that'll be really good. I think that'll be the best for this build, if I'm going to be completely honest. Just so that you guys know, I use these other 2 for bossing, and I'll use the hot slugger specifically for mobbing, because it is amazing with mobbing, because you could just get the ball rolling really well. Moving on over into the rep kit, we have just a generic one here. We have amp on it. That is the most important thing. And then also this is an order rep kit, which gives you 2 charges. That's what I'm really after, so that if the first shot doesn't kill him, the second shot might just get him. If you could get the triple bypass, whichever version, the mini, the regular, the normal, or the mega, that would be probably the best, so that you have 3 different amps on it. But as long as you can roll amp with it, that'll be the best rep kit for you there. We're moving on over to the grenade. Now, yes, I am using the crit knife, but you don't absolutely have to. You can just shoot them in the head. You can shoot them in their weak spot. You can do that as well. This isn't a necessity. It's just quality of life at this point. Okay. Moving over into the class mod, we have Melting Furnace. The main thing we're looking for in here is the Dragon's Breath added into the skill bonus. Now, the incendiary that comes with it is very nice. Same thing with the movement speed. But what we're really after is the Dragon's Breath, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Next, we have What's for Dinner as your shield. Now, the reason I'm running What's for Dinner is because it also rolled with amp on it. When the energy shields are full, shots drain 28% of those shields for 100% gun damage. That is taking this, as long as you're not getting hit, to the moon. All right? What this entire build is basically surrounded by is by buffing the ever-living hell out of 1 shot. That 1 shot, paired together with the status effect that comes afterward, is insane. Right now, for the enhancement, you can honestly run whatever you like. Right now, I have a Jacobs enhancement that gives me 20% chance to get a critical hit. It rolled with some gun damage. It could be better, but it's not a real necessity. I just really like the Jacobs weapons right now in the game. They feel really strong. Moving on over into the skill tree, we are starting with Calamity, and the first 5 points are going into What Burns Within. That's going to give us 30% more incendiary damage. We now have Wield the Storm coming in for an increase into status effect damage and status effect duration. This is going to keep those massive dots up for longer. We then move over into Bullet Storm. Whenever Amon applies a status effect, he gains increased gun damage for a duration up into 5 stacks, each stack giving you 7.5% per stack. That's a lot of gun damage. It feels really good whenever you have this. And then from here, you are granted into the 3 skills down here. Now, what we're going to be picking up is Force of Nature for the augment. Now, the reason we're picking up Force of Nature is because of the detonation damage and for the prime. The prime in this is insane, because when you hit that 1 shot, they are primed with that 1 shot, and then you hit them with a detonation from the Forge skill. Now, moving over into the left side, we obviously want to pick up Berserk. Berserk is by far one of his best passive abilities in this game. So whenever you activate your Forge skill, you become Berserk for a duration, you gain slow immunity, and bonus cryo damage. That bonus cryo damage applies to both your gun and your melee damage. Now, Berserk is getting buffed by There Is Only Red whenever you get a kill. All right? Whenever you do get a kill with Amon while you're in that Berserk state, with 3 points into this, you gain 9 seconds back in your duration for Berserk. You also get 60% more bonus cryo damage every single time you get the kill, up to a maximum of 600 damage, which is really, really nice. It stacks very, very well. Now we go over into the right side here. Now, the most important part of the bossing side of things here is this right here, Dragon's Breath. Whenever Amon activates his ordnance, for us it's our crit knife, but you can use whatever you want. His next gunshot is converted to incendiary damage, staggering damaged enemies and gaining increased damage dealt. Now, bosses can't be staggered, no, but they definitely do take that increase in damage. Now, my class mod is feeding into this. You can roll the furnace over here. You can roll this with 5 points into Dragon's Breath, which is what I want to get, but I just didn't have the time to get that just yet. This is the first drop I got. Now that incendiary damage is getting increased by 160%. So if you are putting that onto a one-shot from either a knife from the shotgun, from the Jacob shotgun, or from a spread launcher from the other Jacob shotgun I got, that does a massive damage. Now, we also rolled into Catastrophe just for additional critical hit chance and critical hit damage. So whenever the crit knife does fall off for those 5 seconds, you still have a chance for keeping your stacks alive here for more and more crits with Jacob's weapons if you don't hit the weak spots. Now, that alone gives us enough points to come into Electrical Fire here. Now, whenever Amon burns an enemy, he also shocks them. Whenever you shock an enemy, he also burns them. So the massive procs that we do wind up putting out there whenever we do burn an enemy, it's also hitting him with the shock. And that's really, really good against shields, which is one of the hardest things to get past without this skill right here. We also have 3 points into Fists of Stone. These were the last 3 points I decided to put into the build here. I just came back and I was like, what's the more quality of life? Fist of Stone is really, really nice. Whenever you do deal melee damage, that is also proccing from your Forge drones. It restores a percentage of your Forge skill cooldown, which our Stormcutter here is a 75-second cooldown, which this is really nice because it's percentage based. So you can get this back really, really quickly as long as your axes are hitting onto something. The only thing that I've seen as a problem with this one is they're kind of slow. The Forge drones are kind of slow. So if you have a boss that's constantly moving around the Forge axes, they're not going to get a lot of value. But if you have a boss that's pretty slow themselves, you are going to get your Stormcutter up a lot. Now, Force of Nature combined with the Dragon's Breath is giving us pretty much a guarantee burn on the enemy, which Electrical Fire then comes in. If you burn them, they shock them as well. Now, just for the last few points here, we go over into the Cybernetics tree and we go into Gathering the Storm. Gathering the Storm, whenever you do get a kill, Amon, you get increased elemental damage for a duration. That's nice for mobbing, but what we're really after is down here. The Forge Drone skill, whenever you activate your Forge skill, you get both axes. You get both the Fire Axe and you get the Cryo Axe. They both come out there. They both do some damage. We're not after the damage itself, but we're after what it procs over into our Calamity tree right here, so we can get our Stormcutter back, like I said before. Now, here's another added little buff right here. Whenever you do reload, your guns gain additional bonus shock damage. It's 30% of the damage that you're dealing. So you are now dealing incendiary damage, you are dealing cryo damage, you are dealing shock damage. You are hitting all 3 HP bars in the game. This works very, very well with the Hot Slugger. This works very, very well with the other weapon I have that's a 1 magazine, just like the Hot Slugger is. Now, I do have a couple more points over here into this one, but it's not really that important. My action skills have a chance to critically hit, and then when they do critically hit, it applies a burn. I know I'm not really using the action skill. If I could re-roll this into something else, I would prefer to re-roll it into the Lightning Rod. If we can get a roll that gives us both the Dragon's Breath here and the Lightning Rod, that takes this build to a whole nother level, because this right here is insane. Amon's gunshots have a chance on a critical hit, which we are always critically hitting, to spawn an elemental bolt dealing shock damage. It's only a 25% chance, so you're not always going to get it. It's a roll of the dice. But the damage that comes from this, if this skill is maxed out, is insane. It's 100 and what is that? 50? 150% of the damage dealt from a spread launcher, let's say. It's crazy. And then another skill that you could run as well, if you do get a lucky roll, would be Blast Furnace. Whenever you or your forge drones critically hit an enemy, you also gain increased damage dealt for a duration. Detonations also grant you multiple stacks as well. Lastly, let's go over the specializations. Now, I am running into the killer tree pretty damn heavily. We rolled 20 points into sharpshooter once we got to that point. The first bit was 10, 10, and then what we really prioritized was killer, because we wanted to pick up this right here, contamination. Critical hits grant increased status effect application chance. Now, you don't absolutely need this. This is nice if your action skill does wind up falling off and you don't have any way to bring it back. You could run 10 points down over into runner, so you can unlock Daredevil to unlock now with caffeine. This will reduce the action skill cooldown whenever a rep kit is activated by 25%. If you have triple bypass, this is really, really nice. Now with caffeine, would replace contamination if you really wanted to run that route. Now I am running one shot, one kill. This is great for mobbing. So whenever you deal excess damage, it's stored and added into your next gunshot. Fortunately, with the amount of one-shots we have, we can just pretty much one-shot every single mob that's out there. It feels really, really nice, and it actually works very, very well with the Hot Slugger. It feels amazing. I am running Compounding Afflictions, but if somebody could let me know down in the comments or come by my Twitch and tell me there, does this mean that you're only getting 1% damage from a specific proc? Like, if you proc incendiary damage, do you only get an additional 1%, or does every single incendiary proc, incendiary status effect proc, add up that damage? I don't know what this is exactly saying. If you only get 1% additional damage taken on the enemy, this really isn't worth it. But if it is by every single individual status effect proc, then it's okay to grab this. Then I'm also running into Overkill. Eventually, I'm going to replace this. I think Riddle You This will be better than Overkill. This is nice. Killing an enemy with a critical hit will cause them to explode, dealing skill damage. But I do believe that Riddle You This is just a bit better. Whenever the Vault Hunter deals gun damage, you gain a stack of Riddle You This, increasing gun damage. Stacks are lost if a new stack has not been gained for the duration, which the duration is 6 seconds. And it goes up to a maximum stacks of 50. Every single stack giving you 1% more gun damage. So that's 50% gun damage as long as you can keep the ball rolling. This would be great for mobbing, and it also can play a bit into the bosses. Let's say the first shot didn't kill him, the second shot definitely will. Now, just to show you what you're supposed to be doing with this, we'll start off with the spread launcher first. We'll compare the two. All you've got to do, you pop your rep kit, you pop your action skill, throw your ordnance, you blow them up, and then you use your forge skill. That's it. That is it. Now I think we can get this a little bit better here. So if I do this again, I actually downed myself. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well. How much money did I just lose? All right, well, there goes $17 million. All right, so. Spread launcher is really nice, but don't get too close. Lesson learned. Lesson learned. So here we go. Take two. Take two. Spread launcher is active. We pop our rep kit. We pop our action skill. We pop our ordnance. We do this. We do this. And you're hitting them for millions of damage. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Now, you can use the Hot Slugger for your mobbing. And you can have a massive amounts of damage come forth. You can pop your action skill. You can throw this out so you can keep Berserk up. And the more you kill, the more that you keep your Berserk up as well. Now with your action skill staying up, you're also applying the burns. It feels really, really nice. So, just so that you guys know, oh wait. Okay, thank you. Just so that you guys know, basically the idea behind this is you are going to do a lot of damage within one shot, and that one shot is going to apply a status effect. That status effect from the specific action skill that we picked up is going to prime the enemy. If you prime the enemy and then you either you kill them, that causes a detonation, that's great for mobbing, and that damage turns into an AoE that applies to other enemies near them. If you're going up against a boss, you want to prime them with that one shot, and then from there smack them with your forge skill, and that is going to detonate for millions of damage. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next build. Let me know down in the comments who you want to see me play next, and figure out a new build that nobody else has figured out yet. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.